Welcome to the Sports Card Hustle.
Hey everybody, I'm Michael Combry coming to you with another episode on the Sports Card Hustle channel, where I'm going to talk to everybody today about 5 tips, that's right, 5 tips that every new sports card investor should know, because we're all hearing about the sports card market continuously growing, and some of us have left the hobby only to come back and really not know which way to go, where others are just getting started, but we all have one thing in common. We are kind of new. So I'm going to share 5 tips today that all the newbies, all the beginners, all the people that are getting into sports card investing should know, starting with rule number 1, the first tip of the day, and that is research. Don't just hop in and buy things blindly. Do your research. That's right. Research what cards are selling for. How many of those cards are consistently selling? And also do the research on, are these players actually worth investing in? It all comes back to research. You have to do the research and put in the work to reap the rewards, especially if you're coming at this from an investing standpoint. So how do you do some research? It's quite simple. A lot of us like to use the eBay search engine because you can go in and get comparable price comps right on the bay. That's right, right on the bay. All you have to do is type in a card name and go to the advanced search and look at sold items to see how many are selling on what days, and also see what they're selling for to give you a comparable comp. Myself personally, I like to take the average of the last 10 cards that were sold and average out the price to get kind of, a median or average standpoint on what that card's going for. So you got to do the research. And if you're looking into players, trying to find people that might blow or be the next big thing, you can always go to Sports Reference and find out, if you were looking into a Trae Young, go to Trae Young's basketball reference website and look at his advanced analytics. You could do the same for a Luka Doncic. You could do the same for a Ronald Acuna. These are just some of the bigger and more popular cards that are currently out there, but you can do the research on what these guys' statistics are currently trending towards and make sure you have a little bit better perspective on, is this card or this player a good investment going forward. So do the research, put in the work, don't just buy blind. And tip number 2 of the day is to make sure that you're buying cards in good condition. Now there's 2 ways to go about doing this. You could buy graded cards or you can buy raw cards. Now, if you're going to go to the graded route, everybody in the industry likes to pay a premium for PSA, with BGS being a lower tier number 1. Still a great grading company, but a lot of people like to go with that PSA. It will fetch a premium price on the market, and I'm really going to advise each and every one of you. Make sure you invest in PSA 10s or 9s only, especially when it comes to modern cards. When you're going back into the vintage market, you can break that rule, but if we're looking at modern cards, you're going to want a PSA 10 or at the very worst a PSA 9. And in the BGS rating, you're going to want to look for 10s, obviously, because it's a 10. But you could also go with a BGS 9.5, which is still considered gem mint. So that's one way to get cards in great condition. The other way is to learn how to spot great cards. That is by looking at their centering, looking at the edges to see if there's any sort of imperfections, and also just developing an eye for cards, which takes some time. But you want to make sure you're buying cards in great condition, not just good condition. That is tip number 2 of the day. Now, tip number 3, we're going to go one of 2 ways. I either want you investing in young, established players. So for baseball, Ronald Acuna, he's going into his 2nd year. He's established himself as a threat on the field, and he is a 5-tool player. So he's young and he's fairly established. In basketball, you have Luka Doncic. He is going into his second year, but he's already in the MVP discussion. So he's young but established. And then you could look at different players in the NHL or also in NFL as well. With NFL, you have young established players such as Lamar Jackson. He's very young, very new, but he does have a league MVP. And you can look at Patrick Mahomes. Very young, very new, but he has an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP and a Super Bowl ring. So these are young, established players, and you usually have to wait until year 2, year 3 to see if a player is going to be established. I don't want you getting caught up in the hype of a player having one good year, because he could have been just a fluke, or he might have had a great year, but he won't improve upon that going forward. So you want to make sure these players are young and established. Or what I personally like to invest in a lot of times is legends, because if you've seen any of my videos before, you know that legends never die. So investing in someone like Wayne Gretzky in the NHL, LeBron James from the NBA, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Mike Trout, Derek Jeter. The list and the names can go on and on, but these guys are legends. They're future or already Hall of Famers, and the cards aren't going to be produced anymore going forward. So if you have some of their rookie cards from back in the day, these cards are probably going to continue to go up in value because legends never die. Now that you know that you need to do the research, you need to get great cards in great condition, and you want to invest in either young and established players or your legends, tip number 4 of today is to only, and I can't stress this enough, only buy their rookie cards. Why do I say that? Because there's a lot more value in a LeBron James rookie card than there's going to be in a LeBron James card from his most recent year. One, there are more of them on the market because they're mass produced nowadays, but also there's nothing unique or special about a LeBron James card, but there is something unique and special about a rookie card. Rookie cards are always going to fetch the most money down the line. So if you're looking to invest and not just collect, I strongly advise that you buy and focus on rookie cards. And that is something that I focus on myself. I almost exclusively buy rookie cards, other than a few exceptions, but we'll get into those exceptions at a later date. For beginners and new sports card investors, I want you focusing on rookie cards. Say it with me, rookie cards. Getting into the 5th tip of the day, I think it's a little bit more of a gamble, but still kind of an investment. You can start to go after players that are either searching for their first ring, that's right, searching for their first ring, or potentially going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Because one of two things happens. When a player leaves the league, he either ends up in the Hall of Fame or doesn't. But Hall of Famers' prices usually increase. So when a man gets inducted into the Hall, his card prices usually go up, because that goes back to tip number 3, where we discussed only investing in legends. Legends never die. So Hall of Famers, you can chase the Hall of Fame, or you can chase the ring. So players that are still chasing rings, such as a Carmelo Anthony. I mean, he's probably not going to get a ring, but if he were to get a ring, his card price would probably go up. And there's other players that fit that bill as well. We will call them the ring or Hall of Fame chasers. So if you want to get a little bit riskier, gamble a little bit more, you could always chase the ring or chase the Hall of Fame. So look for the players that maybe have a great opportunity at winning a championship ring, and they might have had a great career, they have some sort of popularity behind them, but they haven't quite gotten over the hump. And there are various players that fit the bill. It just all goes back to rule number 1, research, 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 and then research some more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is 5 tips that every new and beginning sports card investor needs to know. I hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up because that truly helps out the channel. So give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section below what you'd like to learn more about. If there's any players you'd like me to cover, let me know because I'm going to keep making these videos as long as each and every one of you keeps watching them. Or to be perfectly honest, I'm going to keep making these videos either which way because it's part of the way I like to research. So as I do my research for these videos, I'm researching sports cards as well. So if you ever get past rule number 1 and you're wondering what to do, just go back to it because you want to research, research, research. Don't just buy in the blind. This has been 5 tips. That's right, 5 tips that every sports card investor should know. I'm your host, Michael Convery, and until next time, peace